What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR. Sitting across from me this week and every week, this I believe in. I believe in death. I believe in disease. I believe in injustice and humanity, torture and anger and hate. I believe in murder. I believe in pain. I believe in cruelty and infidelity. I believe in slime and stink and every crawling, putrid thing, every possible ugliness and corruption. You son of a bitch. I believe in you. It's Desra.
Is that the Batman from the new Justice League movie?
No, it's from Exorcist 3.
And sitting across from me, of course, is Brian Paul.
And every week on Why We Love PlayStation VR, we pull an old PlayStation VR game out of the archives, we dust it off, and then we re-examine it, we play through it again, and we discern for you, the game cats, whether you should or should not. I'm way off. So what game did we decide to play this week, Desra?
Well, that of course is our mission statement most of the time, except for the month of October, in which we throw caution to the wind and just do horror games.
But I do feel like this still fits the mold.
It does. Of course, we're talking about The Exorcist.
Oh, right.
Legion VR.
Legion VR by Wolf in Wood.
Yes. Who made a game about a chair.
They did.
They did. Many games about a chair.
Yeah, absolutely. This game came out originally, chapters 1, 2, and 3 came out for PlayStation VR back on June 19th, 2018.
Okay.
It's a while ago.
Yeah.
Half a year ago almost. And then chapters 4 and 5 actually released very recently, October 9th, 2018.
Right.
With the most confusing pricing structure anybody has ever seen.
Yeah, $6.99 a piece.
Which is $2 more than the PC counterparts.
Yes.
You pay $5 an episode on PC, but the PlayStation tax skyrocketed.
Yeah, I guess we paid less for the console, so it balances out?
I don't know, maybe. I have no idea.
Yeah.
But even worse than that is the pricing structure for the whole series.
Yes.
Right? Because there's like so many options. You can buy this episode by episode.
Right.
Or you can buy the complete series for like $30.
Yes, 29. Yep.
Or you can buy the season pass for $25.
Right. What is the difference between the season pass and the whole game?
Do you know how many comments I've gotten from people going, I don't understand how to buy this game? So here's the thing. This was actually a smart move by the developers, but they just didn't execute it well. They assumed that most people were going to want to...
Wow. Could that be the motto?
Might be the theme of the show. They assumed that most people are going to buy episode 1 and see if they liked it.
Yes.
And so the season pass was to say, okay, you already bought episode 1. We don't want you to have to pay for that again. Here's episode 2 through 5 in a separate bundle.
Gotcha.
So if you buy episode 1, you liked it, and now you can buy the season pass for the rest of them.
But on the flip side, if you just look at it and say, well, the whole thing is $29.99, but just the season pass is $24.99, I'm going to buy that. Then you just get episodes 2 through 5.
Yeah, you miss everything. You miss all of episode 1.
Okay.
But you have the rest of it.
Way to go.
It's very confusing, and they really could have just said, instead of calling it a season pass, they could have said episode 2 through 5.
Yeah.
What's the confusion?
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, that's the least of our concerns, though. The Exorcist Legion VR by Wolf in Wood. Wolf in Wood, not a whole lot of information about this dev team.
No, but you do know that their name starts with Wolf. Because every single thing you look at the game, every bottle of wine or book or everything says Wolf on it.
It's all branded.
Yes.
Yeah, by Wolf. But the only thing I really found about them, other than they've made some very small VR experiences.
Yeah.
Starting back in May of 2014 with a game called A Chair in a Room, as you referenced earlier. It was for Google Cardboard.
Right.
It's a VR horror experience. I think it was actually like a free demo originally.
Yeah, actually, and quite good for especially. I mean, this is the very, very early days. It was 2015, I think it was. Yeah.
14.
So super early days in kind of this next generation VR, Google Cardboard, but still very good. And actually, it's gone on to be a series, really.
Yeah, more of a full-fledged thing now. It's like at least 3 hours long. In actually just earlier this week, we found out some fantastic news that the PlayStation VR is getting a port of this. It's an up-res remastered version of the full 3 hour.
Okay.
All of A Chair in a Room.
Yeah.
And it's coming to PC actually by the end of October. But it's coming to PlayStation VR early 2019.
Okay.
So we get to experience a little bit more of Wolf in Wood's VR past, which is exciting. I like to know where companies came from.
Yeah.
But so as we kind of mentioned,
they also made a Star Trek VR 360 experience.
They did.
Yes. Which,
do you know anything about it? Because I didn't really look into it.
I know it's narrated by John Delancey, and I know I have it downloaded on my phone, and I was going to watch it right before we did this, but I didn't have my Google Cardboard thing with me.
So the answer is no.
No, it's basically a tie-in through the Star Trek Timelines, which is a mobile game. It was just kind of like I think it was the 50th anniversary sort of update thing. This was a freebie throw into that. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So they seems like they only have a VR history.
Yes.
So hopefully they only have a VR future too. we need more developers on our side of things. 5 episodes.
5 episodes.
What kind of game is this?
So well, it's a horror title. I mean, that's I guess the genre. But the type of game, adventure, point and clicky, kind of walk around, explore a little bit, sort of solve puzzles, but not really. Calling a puzzle is kind of stretching. It's walk into a place, listen to something, watch something happen, and move something from one place to another.
I'm going to put this in the same category as... I'm going to put it in the same categories like The Bellows, but The Bellows wasn't very good. I'm going to put it more in the same categories like Paranormal Activity. Because Paranormal Activity was pretty good, but you didn't do too much. You kind of just walked around and experienced it.
Right.
If they were puzzles, it was like, just kind of, I found a key. There's a locked door back there. And so...
Or as a streamer I listened to earlier today said, oh, I think I just found a puzzle.
Nice. Well, I'm going to call it... In the same vein of all those games, I'm going to call this a haunted house simulator.
Sure.
Because that's exactly what it is. You walk through, they try to scare you, and but I will say that every single episode of the 5 dramatically different in terms of environment.
The environment, yes, yeah. I mean, Well, I guess we can talk about them without getting too much spoilers. The first is you're a detective. Well, I mean, you're a detective the entire game.
Yeah.
I suppose.
The first one's called First Rights.
First Rights. You end up trying to figure out a homicide. You get called into a homicide case of a priest at a church. And that's pretty much all the information you have going in. And then
it's
hijinks ensue.
Hijinks ensue. And I got to say, you go in, and my first reaction, I'm playing on the Pro, of course.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah, no. And in fact, when I first played it, when I first downloaded it before the 4 and 5 even loaded, there was some kind of issue with whether or not I could play it, and I just fired it up to see if 4 and 5 had loaded. It's like, wow, this is really pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, pretty.
They go for realism.
Yeah.
And they nail it.
Very realistic, very detailed. Things are sharp. It pulls off that same sort of Resident Evil 7. It's like, I know the graphical fidelity isn't this good, but somehow it still looks really sharp.
Yeah.
So kudos for that. It looks fantastic.
Yeah. So you walk into this cathedral or this church, and it's obvious that shit's gone down.
Something bad has happened.
Yeah. And so before we get really deep into that, let's just kind of go over the rest of them. The second one is Idle Hands.
Idle Hands. There is a teacher who went crazy and tried to kill a busload of kids, and you're in the waiting room at the sanitarium trying to interview her.
Now before we move on, I found something fascinating.
Okay.
So you're a Boston police detective. This is your job. You are a detective.
Yes.
In the first episode, First Rights, you walk into the church and you pick up this exorcism kit.
Yeah.
And throughout the course of it, you're picking up items that belong in the exorcism kit. You're kind of completing it as you go through it. And then you start up chapter 2.
And you still got it.
And you have the exorcism kit. What kind of department is this Boston police? What are they running, man? Like, I don't think, I'm pretty sure that when you collect evidence, you're not allowed to keep it.
Well, and not only that, but I would totally excuse that if you just said, well, this isn't quite the real thing. You can kind of like, you're more of an action hero than sort of realistic cop. But there is actually an evidence room. They make a big point about having an evidence room. When you... The precinct is sort of like the main kind of menu
screen. Main menu, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so you have the 5 different cases on the wall. As you finish them, like bits of evidence from the case show up on the wall.
Yeah.
So
which is really cool, actually.
Yeah, no, it's a nice way to do your checkpoints rather than just some kind of random like actual check marks or way to go or point system. But the game itself, the world of the game, recognizes the fact there's such a thing as collecting evidence. So that's a little weird.
It's a little weird, but if you let that one go, you now have an exorcism kit.
Yes.
To deal with all of the things you find. And are you like the Scully and Mulder of this department? Like, are you only assigned to like the creepy cases?
Yeah, well, that's one thing. Like, as far as the narrative of the game, I kept wondering, am I missing something? Because there are voiceovers kind of at the beginning and the end of the game, or the levels that tell you like, oh, and this we finally figured this out. It's like I didn't know we were trying to figure that out.
Right.
Like suddenly somehow your character knows more than you do when he's supposedly like walking into this cold.
Well, and this does actually this takes place in the Exorcist 3, the movie universe. Yes. It's been a very long time. Mm-hmm. If I've seen Exorcist 3, I don't remember it. Yeah. So maybe it's just like this is for the fans of the movie, and maybe it all makes sense if have you seen it?
I have not seen it, and that was my assumption. But there's also another. We wanted to kind of leave some of our criticisms to the end, but I think this is kind of germane to mention. There are a lot of things you can read in this game.
Yeah.
There is a journal you get right off the bat. There's all sorts of...
Well, there are things in this game that you should read. Not can read.
Yeah, that's true.
Because let's start with the criticisms here.
Yeah.
Even on the Pro, I can't read a thing.
No. And it doesn't... It's, we've had plenty of experience with other games where, okay, I can't read it, but if I move the object up to my face, at least it resolves and gets, fairly clear.
Or a lot of games I've recently played Home Sweet Home, which was fantastic, and you hit the triangle button and the text pops up on the screen, clear as day.
Yeah.
I mean, there are ways around this. They just chose not to embrace them.
Yeah, I was beginning to wonder, like, am I just getting old? You're just like old guy, I can't read things. But then again, actually, I heard you on your stream say the same thing. I was like, oh, good, it's not just me. And so maybe all that fill-in information is in that text.
It's possible.
But
so moving on.
Yeah.
Episode 3 is called Skin Deep. And
yep.
And this was interesting because I've never been in a house like this before, where it's just one tiny entranceway that leads up to a nursery, and that's kind of the whole house.
I didn't even think about that, but that's
I was like, is the baby the only thing that lives here?
That's some weird architecture.
It's a little bit weird. Yeah. But it does kind of lend to something that I think is important to mention. All of these, even though all of the different episodes are very different from each other, the environments are extremely small. You get to go into that church, and you basically go into like the
2 rooms,
just the front area, right? And then what's it called? The rectory? Is that what it's called?
I don't. Basically, the priest's office.
Yeah, the priest's office.
Yeah,
I like it.
I think the rectory is formerly the building near the church that the priest lives in.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So all of the environments are really small, which is probably how they managed to make the graphical fidelity so
that's probably
well done.
That's probably true. The third is Samaritan, where your Boston beat cop gets shipped to Haiti,
and you hang out in a morgue.
Yeah, so that's the one where I was starting to wonder, wait, am I still the same character, or are we just like in an anthology series now?
Yeah.
So did the detective like cash in his time off to go?
I don't know.
Check this out. Is he working
Obviously,
for like
something bigger is at work here?
Yeah.
So a greater power is leading him from case to case. It's like Quantum Leap, but scary.
That's the game I want.
Yeah. And then the final one is called The Tomb.
The Tomb.
It's very
where you go to Mesopotamia.
Yeah, why not? It's all done in caves.
Yep.
Carried a lot of torches in that one.
Yeah, and the basic thing with the tombs is actually, if you liked the first 4 chapters, but you were thinking, you know what, there wasn't enough walking around in caverns. So can I have the experiences from the first 4 levels and then walk around in caverns too? Man, have I got a level for you.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. So it's I know this is like an underlying message here that people, if you can't tell by now, we were having some major issues with this game, and I think a lot of it stems from, for me, initially, a lot of it stems from the control scheme.
Yes,
because it does not matter whether you're using DualShock 4 or dual move controls. They're both supported, but they both suck.
It's so overly complicated, and
for no reason.
And also,
it's a game where you're not allowed to do anything.
Yeah, and also very counterintuitive. I mean, you get your book that has all the stuff in it. You've got like this magic spray. You've got holy water capsules. You've got a flashlight. Well, it's a torch. It's basically flame.
Yeah.
I don't know. And then you've got a crucifix. And here's the thing. So if you're using the DualShock, and I assume the move as well, to pick something up, you pull down the trigger button. Okay?
Yes. So far, so good. this makes sense.
Right. And they give you, to their credit, there are tons of options for everything.
Yeah.
And for instance, you can choose how you hold things. Do I hold the button down or do I toggle? So when I pull it once, I toggle. Great. But at least one of these, actually no, two of them, they have like a thing to turn on. Like the sprayer, you trigger the sprayer to spray, and the flame, you trigger it to light. How many times did you go to trigger the sprayer and accidentally hit the trigger and drop the item instead of pressing the on DS4? It was the right thumbstick.
I mean, you're definitely onto something. Yeah, like it's very counterintuitive. Yep. I actually selected the option to hold the trigger to hold it.
Okay.
Bad idea, because you're holding a lot of these things for a very long time.
Yes,
so you're just holding the button down, and you don't think that would be tiring until you're holding it down for 20 minutes at a time. And then you accidentally drop it, and you're like, well, luckily, the important items regenerate back into the exorcism kit, so you just pick it back up.
Oh, do they?
Instead of... Yeah. Oh my God. Well, hold on. We'll get there in a second.
Okay.
But the other control issues, right off the bat, trying to move around with the move controllers. Most move games, you hold the move button down, you kind of just point where you want to walk, and that's it, man. Like nice and easy. And this does offer teleportation, whatever you want to do. Yeah. But of course, I'm doing the locomotion. Oh man, dude. Like on the left move controller to walk forward, you have to push the top left face button. That moves you forward. The one underneath it moves you backwards. I'm like automatically. I'm like, this is a mess. And then on the right move controller, the top two face buttons are your left and right, and then the below those are your strafing left and right buttons. And I'm like, man, again, this whole thing could have easily been done one button pointing. And so you can acclimate to that. I'm pretty sure that Wolf and Wood and the Paranormal Activity developers went off to a conference somewhere, and they were like, listen. Everyone else has this figured out, but let's try something different because these control schemes seem very familiar to me.
Yeah, I played it mostly on the DualShock, and it's slightly better, but it's not much. I mean, I started with a teleport, and that's actually where I came into one of my first issues. Collision detection is a big issue in this game. Objects going through other objects all the time, including you. And I actually teleported myself in the priest's office. There's a hidden panel, shocker, and I went to get close to it and teleported into the wall, and it was just. At first, I thought like the game had crashed, which happened multiple times.
Yeah.
But no, I was just surrounded by black, and actually no. Oh no, I can still hear stuff happening, and because I was trapped in the wall in the black, I couldn't see my teleportation marker anywhere, and that was it. So I had to restart the game.
Yep, I restarted twice, I think.
But I was saved in the wall.
So you just start the whole thing over.
So I had to start the whole thing over again.
Wow.
Because of that and other bugs, I played that first rights, 6 different times from the beginning.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
And that's when I get the angry text message from you. No, it's not when I get the angry text message.
That didn't even push me over the edge.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Can we talk about the crucifix? Because I need.
Yeah. We need to. Absolutely.
Because this was like, after that experience, going through that, and then actually the second one wasn't too bad.
I didn't have any problems in skin. No, that's idle hands. Yeah.
Other than again just the being able to juggle objects, which we already talked about.
Right.
The third one, now I didn't see on your stream when it happened to you, but it happened to me as soon as I showed at the bottom of the stairs. I opened my thing, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to pull out the crucifix or whatever. I opened it. The crucifix fell through the kit.
Oh, you saw it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I never even saw it.
Nope. I opened it. The crucifix fell through the kit, through the floor, and was gone.
See, I started chapter 3, and never even bothered opening it because I didn't need anything. Yeah. Until I needed it at the very, very end, and I couldn't find it. I opened the exorcism kit, just not there. And so we had this whole thing going on in the stream where people were like, "Oh no, you got to reach through the mirror and find it. You got to do this, you got to do that." Yeah. And then finally, JD was like, he looked up the video. I was like, "Oh no, you're supposed to have it from the beginning." Yeah. And so I didn't even realize my game was broken until I was like 25 minutes into that episode.
Well, because I saw that happen, I was like, oh, like the demons took it or something. And I'm like, okay, the developers want me to solve this puzzle without the crucifix. Yeah. Great. So I went through and I got to the end and I can't figure any way other than this. And so I went and I looked up a video online too, and like, oh yeah, he's got the crucifix, great. So go through this process again. All right, I'll just restart the level.
No,
nope, it's still gone.
Not there.
Oh, it gets better. Restart, go back to the precinct. It's not there in the precinct. So I'm like, all right, well, I'll just shut off the console and start up. Still not there. I was like, all right, I'm going to go back to level 1 again. This was the 6th out of the 6th time. Like, all right, I'll just go through and recollect all the items. The book is there. The torch is there. The holy water is there. The sprayer is there. I open the panel. The crucifix is not.
What?
Yep.
Wow.
So it just did not exist in the game at all.
That is insane.
My final solution was uninstalling and reinstalling the entire game.
I mean, that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my, wow. Okay, so I never found a solution. So I'd beaten episode 1, 2, and 3 when it first came out. And we should probably mention that when episode 4 and 5 came out, there were some bug fixes. There were some patches involved to the whole game. So that got rid of the mandatory blinders because the game is beautiful, as we mentioned. It's like really realistic, but it's a dark game all the time. It's very dark in this game. And the blinders like made it extra dark. So every time you're moving or turning or doing anything, it was impossible to see what you were doing. And so luckily we got rid of those. But apparently getting rid of those and patching a few bugs means we created a few more. So this game, I feel like the game used to play better.
Really? Okay.
Oh, I beat episode 1, 2, and 3 originally
with no problem.
And now I can't even beat episode 3. So so I don't know. We got to move on.
Okay.
So let's see here. The sound in this game, I would have to say, moving on back to something positive, I think is incredible.
Yeah. Well, I think my overall issue with this game is like I feel like I haven't played the game because the level of quality that it brings visually and with the audio, like you mentioned, and even like the environments and the story beats and all that all seems like a lot of care was put into it and it's really good. But the frustrations of actually playing the game, I was just so taken out. I was, it's anti-immersive. I was just so taken out of everything and so frustrated that I'm just like, I might love this game, but I hate this experience.
Yeah, we're in the same boat for sure. Because the thing is that I found this game extremely scary, like when it was working properly, and it's terrible to say this game. So my goal last week when I did the live stream, I was like, I'm coming up on midnight here. I'm like, I'm really excited. I'm like, and I haven't played chapter 4 and 5 yet. So I'm like, I'm just going to jump in and play episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And each one's only about 20 minutes long. It's not going to take me very long. Within 2 hours, I'm going to play the whole thing. Like 3 hours later, I'm still bastard. Still struggling. But the fact is like episode 1, First Rites, at the very, very end, I got stuck in a cutscene.
Yeah.
Yep. Right, everything was flashing red and everything went dark and I'm still hearing the growling and I'm like, I know this is over. I know the episode is over, but it just locked me into this loop in the blackness with growling. And
that was like, number 4.
And I was like, this is insanity. I was so like moments ago, I was totally petrified. I was like, lights are blinking red and things are being thrown at me and I think I see the devil. And I was like trying to maintain composure during a live stream, just sweating from head to toe, being like, this is really scary. And I had played it before. And so I'm like, it was a good reminder of like how scary this thing is. And then moments later, I'm not scared anymore. I'm frustrated because the game won't carry on and let me play episode 2. I had to quit.
Yep.
So I totally feel you. I know exactly where you're coming from. I mean, you were able to experience almost the entire game. You did play through all of the chapters.
Yes.
Did you have any, excluding the frustration factor, did you have any moments of like, hey, this is actually scary? 'Cause I know you. And
you
don't get scared easily.
There was, I don't know. Not many. Like there was one. I know this is going to sound kind of dumb, but the first section, and this isn't a spoiler. You open the confessional, and there's the dead priest there.
Yeah.
And for some reason, like just that was a little more jarring than I expected. It was like, okay, I'm going to walk in there, and I won't spoil other
details.
stuff. But it was just like, oh, okay. And that was kind of, it's like, oh, I might be on board with this. I had such a great experience with Transference. I'm like, oh, maybe there are some horror games. And that was it. That was it.
Because it's just a buggy mess from that point on.
Yeah. And the thing is, like, I want to be into this. And, for a horror game to work for anybody, you have to be involved and be bought into the story.
Yeah.
And it's just because, like, I can't open a door because I was so sick of holding things down, I did the toggle. Well, if you do that when you're holding a door, your arm is stuck to the door unless you remember to toggle it again. So, again,
yeah, that doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like it should have been part of that option.
If Without Parole Games ever gets big enough to sponsor our own conference, I'm going to have a doors track. There will be like, game design track and audio tracks, and then there will be the door track.
I really hope the theme song is like Light My Fire.
Oh man. So it's just like, if you can't handle the basic tools they're giving you to play the game.
Yeah, it's funny because, you know what? I think we need to rate this.
Yeah, okay.
Let's just rate it because I have some things to say, and I feel like I might as well save it for my rating.
Sure. All right. So our rating system is pretty simple to understand. 1 is, yes, you have to buy this game. If you have a PSVR, it should be in your library. It's one of the best of the best. Just go get it. 2 is, yeah, it's fine. If it's on sale or if it's a genre you particularly like, then definitely pick it up. Or if Brian needs to eat dinner.
I'm starving. I need pizza. Somebody get me pizza.
Or 3, no, do not buy this game. It is not worth your money. We need to vote with our wallets and tell developers that we will not stand for this kind of treatment.
Yeah.
Friends don't let friends buy crap. So 1, 2, or 3, what do you think about The Exorcist Legion VR?
So this sucks, man. This really, really sucks because here's the thing. I was
and
when I was playing when I was playing on the stream, it reminded me like when things come, you know me, I love everything scary. I love, and especially when it comes to the supernatural, that is my jam. Like I more than slasher movies, more than like anything else. Like the paranormal is what I love, and especially when it comes to like demons and like when it gets really into Catholicism and like holy crap, that hits home because I went to Catholic school and like there was a point where I picked up like the statue of what's the Pazuzu, and I held it up during the stream and I was joking. I was like, "All hail King," and I was like, and something felt wrong. I was like, "Ooh," I'm like, the Catholic school teaching just hit me, and I was like, I don't want to open that door. I know it's not real, but I don't want to open that door, and like I have a Ouija board. And I remember one time like my cello player came over and it was sitting out. And she's like, you're not supposed to leave that out, right? And I was like, oh no, I didn't know. And she's like, no, put it away.
They're made by Milton Bradley.
So but that's the thing. Is like I was like, oh shoot, I didn't. You leave a doorway, a gateway open for spirits to come in. I was like, and these things affect me because I believe so fully in them that like this game is like so made for me.
Yeah.
Right. Like demons and all of this stuff, it's just like I'm like, man, there's something about the way this game is presented really hits me in ways that other games just haven't. And I'm like, and so it's so scary, but it's currently so broken. And so here's I need to say, yes, each episode's only 20 minutes long. Yes, there's a bunch of replayability if you care about going back and like finding all the collectible items and stuff. Each one has a percentage.
You're right.
You're gonna play each one of these probably twice to try to like collect everything. But unfortunately, if it was perfect and wasn't glitchy and wasn't buggy, I'd probably still give it a really, really strong 2. But I can't because currently it's broken. I can't recommend a broken game. I can't say, hey, for all the horror fans out there, go check this out, because most of the comments I've been getting are, hey, should I get this or Home Sweet Home? Or, hey, I want to put my friend into VR for the first time. I want to scare the crap out of him. And I was like, well, the only thing you're going to teach people with The Exorcist is that like VR games are broken and really hard to control. And so I have to give this a 3 with an asterisk. The asterisk says, if the game gets fixed and it goes on sale, it's totally a 2. Right? But right now it's broken. And it's just so disappointing because it really does hit home, and it's awesome when it works. It just doesn't work often enough. I hate that.
I'm going to echo that almost word for word.
You also had a Ouija board out on the table when your cello player came over?
No, well, It was actually a viola, but
Okay.
same thing.
Yeah.
No, it's exactly like what I feel bad for. I don't know how big the team is at Wolf and Wood.
Neither do I.
If they're like most medium to large groups, though, there's a design team, there's a story team, there's a UI team, and I feel bad for the design teams because they have what could be a really decent game.
They kind of nailed it.
Just coupled to this freaking brick of, this thing should be soaring and taking off. We should be able to say, yes, absolutely, Windmill Slam 1. If you like horror, this is your thing. But it's not. It's just chained to this piece of crap UI that, yeah. So for exactly the same reason, I'm going to say a 3. If we revisit, maybe we hear about another update or something when they fix a lot of these issues, then I'm going to give it a stronger recommendation.
I mean, keep an eye on the comments. We'll definitely pin a post, pin a comment below this video. And so if you run into this and you go, oh, I wonder if they fixed things, I'll certainly post a comment and pin it to the top so you'll know if like our concerns have been fixed or not.
Yeah, at this point, though, I think by the very definition of a 3, we need to vote with our wallets and tell developers we're not going to accept this. Yeah. Just because it has the Exorcist slapped on it, and just because it is pretty, it is a game, and the game part is not working.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because it is everything that I want, and just to top it all off, I mean,
there's a weird boss battle thrown in the end, though.
It's a weird bad ending, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Like, just we're not gonna spoil it, but I didn't enjoy the ending. The last 2 minutes of the game should have been the culmination of the crazy, oh my god, this is so scary, and instead it was like, this is the dumbest boss battle I've ever had, and it's not scary.
Like, and why do we have a boss? Because that's the thing. Like, even the locomotion wouldn't be that bad. I mean, because you're thinking, okay, well, there's so many locomotion controls. Wow, moving around must be important. Like, maybe I'm going to be running away, or and they give you all these different weapons and tools. You're like, oh crap, I'm going to be facing off. No, and like the different tools are, gee, I'm stuck. Well, I'll use this one. No, I'll use this. Oh, okay, that did something.
Yeah, it's the interaction in this game are minimal at best. They make it seem like your inventory is important. Very seldom is it. I think they could have just been like, hey, instead of opening a book, which I actually sort of enjoyed, being like, oh, here's my exorcism kit. Let me grab something out of it and use it.
Right.
I kind of enjoyed that. But yeah, they made it so difficult to control in kind of irrelevant in the game.
Yeah.
That is it. The whole thing seems pointless. And that's not something I'd be focusing on. Again, if everything worked well, because I really enjoyed when this game worked, and when it was scaring me, it scared the crap out of me. Like, you can watch my live stream.
There's a moment which is pretty awesome.
It's fantastic. There were so many moments where I was like, this is everything I want.
Yeah.
Until it broke down like 3 times. My 2-hour stream turned into 3 live streams. It's just so depressing because I really, really want to love this, but it does everything in its power to keep me from loving it.
Yeah.
So, unfortunately, this is not in the way we wanted it to. I was really thinking when we did this, it's $7 an episode. The PlayStation tax should not be that high.
No,
that's $2 extra per episode for 20 minutes apiece.
I didn't look at the comments in the Steam version for this time around. Do they have similar issues on PC?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think so. They weren't cursed with forced blinders from the get go. Like, I think Sony certification kind of.
We get less game and we pay more for it.
Kind of. So here's the thing, guys. Obviously, we want to hear what you thought of The Exorcist. Hopefully you guys understand. When we give a game a 3, we never want to.
No.
We really wanted to love this game. Especially Halloween season, I really, really wanted to enjoy every bit of this. It just didn't come together, right?
Go by Transference.
Or Home Sweet Home. Sweet Home is fantastic for like the same price, to be honest, and way longer. But what did you guys think of The Exorcist Legion VR? Let us know in the comments. Did you have the same issues we were having? I can't imagine you weren't. That would be really strange.
It'd be weird if I was having it. Like, okay, there's something wrong with my setups at home.
Same.
Okay, but yeah, the fact that like I turned on your stream and that you were talking about the Crucifix. Oh my God, it's not just me. Okay.
Yeah. So let us know what you thought. Also, let us know what other games you want us to talk about. We're getting near the end of October, so we still have another scary game or two to talk about that might bleed over into November. Yeah. Let's hope, because I don't want October to ever end. No. But let us know what other games you want us to talk about.
Yeah.
Pretty much does it, right?
That's it.
All right, for another episode of Why We Love PlayStation VR, I'm Brian Paul.
I'm Dez.
And we'll see you next week.